How adorable is this lovely little booklet? Stay tuned and I'll show you how to make one. Hello everyone, it's Lee here. Thanks for joining me. So welcome back to all my current subscribers and regular viewers, and a big warm welcome to anyone who's joining me for the first time. So what I'm going to show you today is this little, really simple little journal that I made. It's only got about 12 pages, I think. So really simple, and I was inspired by Laurie from the channel Girl on the Ridge when I made this, and it's all torn pages with bits of cloth stuck on them, little ribbons and tassels and things everywhere. Very soft and romantic, shabby chic I guess, and super easy to make. So it's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pages, 6 sheets in it, so including the cover, which is a little bit heavier than the actual pages. So 24 pages including the covers, and it's just bound with a simple 3-hole pamphlet stitch. Okay, so that's it. They're really quick, and you can embellish them any way you like. I love the torn edges with the bits of lace and bits of scraps of fabric and that sort of thing sewn on the edges of them. I've even got pages that aren't torn. So as I said, inspired by Laurie from Girl on the Ridge, and I thought I might use a couple of pages from a kit by a good friend of mine. So Matteo from Matteo Mixed Media Art. So he's got this lovely kit out on his Etsy shop at the moment. So these are actually the back pages. So it's called Crackled Flowers, I'm pretty sure, and I'll put a link to that in my video description box. So I'm going to use a piece of that I've got for a cover. I've got some that are printed off on thicker paper. And where's one? Okay, so here's a double-sided one, so I'm going to use that for my cover. And I'll use one of these on the insides. So it's a really big kit too. Got a list of the things that are in it somewhere. Okay, yeah, so there's front pages, lined back pages, labels and bookmarks, altered image pages, labels and templates for pockets and envelopes. So 40 pages altogether. So as I said, really big kit. I think I'll use those two in this little book I'm going to make. So I'm firstly going to trim off the white edges. The other things that I've got here are some tea dyed and avocado dyed and coffee dyed papers. So I need 5 of them. So if I take one of each, I'll leave the pink one out. I think I'll go more with the tea coloured one, and one of them. Rightio. So this particular book here, just let you know what the measurements are. So it's approximately 5 inches wide and 7 inches in height. So I'm with my book that I'm making right now. I'm just going to fold my A4 pages in half and tear the edges off a bit and make them slightly smaller. So this book's going to end up bigger than my other one. I need to get rid of these white edges. Okay, so I've got rid of the white edges and I've torn the cover to the shape that I want. So I want it to be irregular. Put that to the side, and I've got my pages here. So this isn't the original piece of paper I had to start with. This is the one here, and I made it a bit too small, so I got another one. So I want to tear down these pages and I want it really quite rough, so I'm not worried about too much. What I don't want is for them to all be the same size if I can help it. So I'm going to just tear the bottoms and the tops off, and then I'll tear the sides off individually, so that way I'll get them all different shapes and sizes. And I want the things that are going to be decorating the pages to be poking out, in some cases beyond the book. So already, without even decorating them, you can see how effective that is with all the uneven pieces of paper. So I'm going to put this one a bit further in, and then I've got this short one. I'll pop that in here, like so, and that's the pages, and they'll go in there, and some of them stick past the edge. I'll just take that pointy bit off there. Now I want to ink all those, and I'm going to use Vintage Photo. So I've got Distress Oxide here. So I'm going to take that away, but these other ones I'm going to do while they're together, Louise Heinzel style. So I'm not worried about pages curling up. All I'm trying to do is just get a bit of a grungy edge around the papers, because a lot of this will be covered with bits of fabric and things anyway, so just want to take away the whiteness. I could pull the book, pull the pages away from each other and do it that way, but I like the randomness of the way this turns out, and the fact that you get a bit of the ink onto the other pages as well in the process of doing it. Like, you know, you've got that edge comes in a bit on there. See the bottom here. Okay, so that's it all inked up. You can see what it looks like now. Now you can, if you want to stitch stuff on, do that now, or you could possibly leave it till you've, if you're only wanting to put things on the edges, till you've put the book together. But I think I'm going to put some things, sew some things onto the side of mine. So I'm just going to take that over to the sewing machine and sew some laces and trims and things on. I've got a bag of lace scraps, so I'll probably use some of them, and I'll go and do that, and then I'll come back and show you what I've done. Okay, so this is what I've done so far. So these ones have all been stitched on, so that's the front cover. And on this one I've ruffled some lace and sewn it around the edge of the paper. That one I did a ruffle all the way across the top. And this one I just put like a little lace tab on it. And and didn't do anything there. And on this one I sewed that piece of, it was out of like a crocheted sort of lacy top thing, so I just sewed that on so it sticks out beyond there. Now this one, I just took a piece and I folded it over and stitched it on, but what I want to do is cut through the middle of it. Like that. And there's a bit of the page that got tucked under. Oh, I might have to leave it there. It's got a bit of glue on it. I used a little bit of glue to hold it in place, so that'll be like that. And I've got that one there. Further on, got another little tab, and here to just a little bit of a cluster there, and that's the back. So I want to now put something else on the front of it, and I've got a few things here that I thought about using. So because I've gone with this yellowy colour, I might stick to something with a bit of yellow in it. I've got this. I was thinking about these little doilies, so maybe a doily, and I've got this little piece of something or other there, maybe with a bit of something underneath it. No, I don't think that matches, but maybe a piece of this would. That looks better. So I'm just going to chop a bit of that off. I don't want it to have square corners. I can't rip it, so I just chop them off. So I'm going to pop that on there. And I do have that, so maybe something like that. Another thing I've got is some little button clusters. So some little button clusters there. Another thing I found was this flower that I made. So maybe it doesn't really match the yellow, does it? So let's go back to these things. Where's my piece of lace? There we go. Bit of lace. A doily. Make that a bit smaller, I think. A little scrap of fabric there. Some pink and green in it. That thing. And then, or maybe one of these. They're not really button clusters, they're just buttons sewn onto pieces of fabric. Just see what colours I've got here. I'm thinking maybe just a plain one. Maybe that instead of this. There's no yellow ones there, so roll them out. What about a piece of that? No. Yeah, I think I like that little button there. So I'm just going to tack those pieces together on the sewing machine, and then I'll glue that on. Okay, so I've sewn them together, and then I had a thought about maybe popping one of these Tim Holtz paper dolls on there. And I quite like the way that looks. So I'm going to glue that down, and then I'm going to glue the paper doll on top. I've just got some Aleene's tacky glue here. Are you enjoying my videos? Don't forget to hit the subscribe button if you're not already subscribed. I mean, you're only limited by your imagination as to what you can put on these things. And they're so simple to make. This is the most time consuming part of it, is to decorate the cover and put the little ruffles and things on everywhere. So I might leave that off until I've sewn it together. So I think she'll look quite nice sitting on there. Pop her in there like that. So she's sort of on the edge of the page. Just going to tuck the button underneath. Tuck it on her underneath the button like that. Okay, so I'm just going to leave that as it is for the time being, and I will get my needle and binding bits and pieces ready to go. Alright, I've got my darning needle here and I've threaded it with some neutrally sort of like a light peach embroidery floss. So I took a piece that's approximately 3 times the length of the cover. And what I want to do is just make sure the pages are sitting where I want them to sit before I go poking any holes in there. So I'm just going to bend the book back outwards like that and put a hole in the middle. I'm just eyeballing this. So one in the middle, or one in the top. Just going to make sure we get through all pieces of paper. So put that one there, and then one down the bottom, like that. Okay, so I've got my 3 holes there. 1, 2 and 3. Get my thread on my needle and poke it through the middle hole all the way to the outside. Hang on to the end, then go up to one of the other holes. It doesn't matter whether you do the bottom or the top. Oops. Just rip that a little bit. It's alright. Won't matter. I can put a little bit of tape over there. So I've come back through to the outside. Now I'll go all the way back down to this bottom hole. Just making sure it lines up like so. And now I want to take it back through to the center one. Comes up, and then you would tie them up. Now if you wanted to have your tie on the outside, you just start from the inside. So I'll just pull that out. So I'm going to go through the middle one. It's exactly the same, but I'm just starting it on the outside instead of the inside. And through. Back up to the top one. And then down to the middle one. Okay, so when you come through on the outside, and you've got your threads hanging there, so you want one to be on either side of that long piece of thread, and I'm going to tie that off. So by leaving them on the outside, you can then tie maybe a couple of beads or something on there, a charm. I'm just going to trim them off a little bit. Okay, so that's what it looks like on the outside. You could just tie a bow there, but I think, oh well, yeah, I'm going to tie a bow on it just for the time being. Like so. So this is what we've got so far. The back's pretty plain. The front, I have to glue on the doll, and I also found some little fabric roses, so I'll pop a couple of them on. So that's the way it's looking. Alrighty, so I want to put the doll on next. So I'm missed with the sewing machine there, so I'm going to put a little bit of glue under that, just so it's not flapping around in the wind. And then I want to put the glue all over the back of the doll. slip her arm underneath the button like that. Oops. That's what I wanted. And I'm just going to put a clamp on that, so, or bulldog clip, so that she stays on there. Let's go this way, it'd be easier. Don't think she's going to stay underneath the button, but that's alright. Doesn't matter. And then I want to glue this little one on just here somewhere. Just under there. Now what I want to do is make some, just do a little bit of stamping. So I can put some little stamped pieces of paper here and there throughout the book. So I'm going to use a piece of, where are we? I think I'll use this one. And I'm just going to tear a bit off the side, so I'll take off the white. This is about 200 GSM that this has been printed on. That's a bit hard to tear. Okay. So I want maybe about that wide. Just get rid of that edge. Okay. And I think for this one I'm going to try and keep the butterfly, so I'm just going to tear that off. And these ones, I'm going to tear them into pieces like that, and I want to ink the edge. So I'm going to ink all of them up. Alrighty, so I've inked all them up, and I've just taken out an assortment of stamps that I would like to put on them. So I'm going to use one of these. So I'm going to use this one. This is from the sample stamps. Dates from the past. CEC 959 is the number. And this one says Papiers à lettres. I don't know how you say it. Okay, so that's like that, that's nice, that's all I want on there. So I've got another couple there. I'm going to put this butterfly stamp on this one. Left hand side there, and I might see if I can get a number with it as well. It's very faint, but that's okay. Pop that over there. There we go, here's a number. Number 261 will do. So I'm not doing it in black because I want it to be just a little bit softer. Okay, so that'll do for them, for that particular set of stamps. I've got these things which I really love. So I like to put one of these on a stamp. It's a matter of finding one that's going to fit. Maybe that will fit on here. Nearly, but it should be okay. And that looks pretty nice. And what have I got on here? Got some other French words. I'm not sure what they say. I can't remember any of the French that I learnt at school. I don't know about anybody else, but I did leave school in 1973, so I think I've got a fairly good excuse. We got that, and a couple more. I might put a little clock on there with the butterfly. So I'm just going to angle it off the side. I don't worry about stuff getting on this cloth here because that's going to end up being made into something one day. The whole idea of me putting it down was so that it would get covered in muck. So that was the idea behind it. Now I just need one more. What else can I find here? I'll pop another number on, so 785. Okay. Let's have a look, see whether this glue has gone off yet. Yeah, enough to do some more work on the book. Okay, so we want, just going to glue that there. And I think I'll just use art glitter glue. These ones. And then I might stamp in a couple of places some of these. I'm just going to put that, I won't be able to stamp it there because it's too wibbly wobbly, but down here it will work. Okay, and I'll put another one here. So now do I want here, I think I'll just go for the 785 and I'll just shorten that. And put it up the right way helps. Just gonna put it there. And these ones I'm going to stamp. Okay, so on this one I think I might put that one on there. Right there will do. So that one I'm going to leave as it is. This one, I think that would look nice on there. Right there will do. Now I just thought of another stamp that I have, which is like a scroll. And I thought back on one of these pages here, I'll put a scroll stamp on there. I haven't used this one before. Don't really need much ink on it because it's only the outside of it that needs to be inked up. So I'm just going to go straight onto there. Bit of luck, it's straight. Oh, that looks nice. Okay, I'm just going to pop that to the side. And keep going through the book. I'm going to go to the back, otherwise I'll run out of these things. And maybe that one can go there. Like that. That's vintage photo that I've inked these up with too, if you're wondering. Just put the lid back on. And then I've got the butterfly. Maybe on there or here. I think up there. And I've just got a couple of watercolour flowers. I think I might pop a couple of them in there somewhere. That one. I think I'll put this one in. Just gonna draw in the center of it. Darken that up a little bit. That looks nice there against that paper. Definitely not there. I'll go back to this one, I think. This one. Now the kit also comes with some tags, and I'm going to use them to create some pockets and just cut the taggy top off them. So I'll make 3 of them, and I'll make 3 of the tags as well. So I'm going to stick that onto like a bit of cardstock to give it a bit more strength, and I'll show you that when I've finished. Also included in the kit is a page of numbers and words. So I've backed a couple of them, or 3 of them, and I'll pop them into the book as well. So I've got my tags backed onto a light cardstock, and my pockets I've done the same thing. I've inked around the edge of them, and with the tags, as you can see, I've put an eyelet in each one. Now I just need to find places to add the pockets in. Before I do that, I'll quickly put a thumb notch on each one, because I'd forgotten about that. So I think that was the one I was going to put on the front cover. About there would be good. Okay, so that's one pocket in there. I should put one here, because what happened was the glue from that stuck there and it put a little mark, so if I cover that up, I think it'll look better. It's the purple one, I think will go nicely on that. Okay, and I'll put another one towards the back here, I think. Maybe on one of these plain pages. Doesn't quite fit there. It won't be any good there. Maybe there. Yep, I'll put it here. Okay, so that's the pockets in there. Tags can just go in. Could put a piece of ribbon in them, but the video's getting on too long. So I'll do that later. I'll just go up there with that one. So it says dream. Laugh. Okay, that way with that one. And the last one is thrive. And just put that one down there. Okay. So there we go. It didn't end up being much bigger than the other book by the time I ripped the top of the page off, so I love this. I think it's gorgeous. They're so easy to make, and the actual basis of the book, that is, it's when you start decorating it that you spend some time. So if you made one along with me, let me know in the comments how yours turned out. Don't forget to share the video with your friends. Give me a thumbs up. Leave a comment, and if you're watching and you're not subscribed, I encourage you to hit the subscribe button and turn on the notifications. And in the meantime, we'll see you in the next video. So cheers from Australia. Hooroo!